I'm Roy Cochiolo, broker owner of Your Mortgage Your Way. Today we're here with financial planner Michael Anderson from Richardson GMP. He's been in the industry now for 2 decades and seen a few cycles. We're just here to discuss some opportunities that we have with Michael and find out what's going on in the marketplace. So, first, Michael, thank you very much for joining us today. Really appreciate that. Hope you're keeping well and keeping safe.
Yes, thank you.
So, first question we have that probably a lot of people want to know is, what's investor sentiment out there? How are people feeling about the markets today?
So I just want to also say I'm sorry to all the families that are suffering, and we are all doing our best to sequester and be good citizens. Having said that, my job as a financial advisor is to make money and protect my clients' finances. So it's from that perspective that I want to share with you some things that we've been doing that we believe that are going to be very effective in building the net worth of our clientele over the next cycle when this terrible period passes. One thing that we have seen is having gone through 5 or 6 of these, 3 of them being very large, this being the third, human psychology plays a large part in the way in which the stock market operates. And if I could say that recently, 2 weeks ago, I think we had the market bottom or something that approximated the market bottom, where off the top, the market was down nearly 40%, which is a serious magnitude drop. That goes back to the 30s. It goes back reminiscent of '08 and the 2000s. So at that point, there is a level at which sellers or investors go on strike and say, look, I'm not selling anymore because these prices are ridiculous. And that is the formation of a bottom. Unfortunately, there's a time-tested principle, which is a retest of that bottom. And I believe currently with the data coming out of the US about all of the deaths and the high infection rate that we're going to retest that low imminently. Having said that, this will pass. We will get through this. Even if the mortality rate is 5%, it still leaves 95% of the world here. And although the world is closed for business for the most part, like you, Roy, and myself, we are still working. And there's a good percentage of the economy still going. So if I back up for a second, and then I want to go on to your next question, but the idea of, when is this going to end, and what's the magnitude of the loss to portfolios? So we're thinking about it this way. If we apply a 0 to the first quarter of 2020, which is a 3-month period, fingers crossed, it does appear 3 months is the length of time it takes to get control of these pandemics. China took 3 months, South Korea was shorter, Japan was shorter. Italy is at the 3-month mark, and they are today stating the least or the lowest numbers since this began. So they're on the other side of the curve. Hopefully Canada will know this week if we're plateauing, which is positive. But it's that 3-month mark, and we have lots of research that's been sent to us showing that in the 3-month mark there is a significant drop. But then there is a tail to it. So expect a second wave. But the second wave is never as bad as the first. Having said that, if a 0 on the first quarter would mean 25% of all global activity ended, which is a 25% erasing in the markets, in the stock market. Well, the markets presently are down 30. So I would say we would call this baked in the cake. Okay, so the first quarter, all the damage presently is probably baked into the cake. If things get worse, well, then the market could give up some more. But if folks have the courage here to step in, I am encourage them to do some nibbling, do some buying, get some good quality businesses now at these prices.
Okay, and what opportunities do you see out there right now? Like if you're going to invest in something today, what would be your top choices to invest in?
So yeah, we are counseling our clients not to get too fancy or try to be too clever here. It's not necessary. When major large cap businesses like Canadian banks, utilities, and telcos are down 30 to 40%, I don't think you need to go any further. I think you start there. You buy whatever Canadian bank you feel comfortable with. Yeah. You buy whichever telco operator you use, whether it's Rogers or Bell, you buy a little of them. And I think Canadians should be buying some Enbridge or some pipelines. The dividends on all of these names I mentioned is north of 6%. The Bank of Commerce is 7.5 today, 7.5 dividend. Enbridge is 8. With the dividend tax credit, that is a 10% interest equivalent forever. Now, I say forever, dividends are not guaranteed, but I can say that Canadian banks, since inception, have never cut a dividend. And if they were ever to have cut a dividend, it would have been '08. This is nowhere near what '08 was for the banks.
Right. So financial institutions definitely, I mean, in light of all this stuff, there is some great opportunities in the marketplace to see your portfolio grow. Now, is it advisable that people who are like cash limited, is it advisable to borrow funds to invest in the market today?
The short answer is yes. Everyone's personal circumstances are different. If someone's job is in jeopardy, well, probably not. But if someone is secure in their employment, has ample room on their line of credit that's not being used, I believe that given their time horizon, and I'm going to say you need to have that money invested for at least 5, preferably 10 years. Research has shown that any new money introduced into a stock market that is minus 30 enjoys the next cycle compounded rate of return of 10% a year, plus the dividends for the next 10 years. This is a very, very appetizing entry place.
So if I had a house that had lots of equity in and I have a small mortgage, and I go around, say I borrow, I create a HELOC or get a HELOC with home equity line of credit on the house, I'd say paying around 3% or even 3.5%.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I borrow that money, my interest on that is tax deductible, correct?
Yes.
My investments, and then my upswing on the dividend will pay basically for the interest on my line of and some.
So I've only seen this twice in my career, and it seems to be about every 15 to 20 years. You're not going to see this again probably for another 15, 20 years. So think of it this way. We have our mortgage, and we are actually increasing our line of credit presently through Bank of Nova Scotia because I want to buy just about everything. And Bank of Nova Scotia is going to pay me so think of it this way. If I took $100,000 from Bank of Nova Scotia, they're going to charge me 3%. Cost me $3,000 a year. I deduct it on my taxes. It actually really only cost me $1,500 a year.
Right.
I then invest the whole $100,000 into Bank of Nova Scotia with the present dividend of 6.5. They're going to send me $6,500 from the very institution I borrowed from.
That's amazing.
Now, this is not even to mention the fact that I have all the upside as things normalize. And, look, you even said it, Roy. What if they come up with a vaccine tomorrow? I mean, that's a bit optimistic, to be fair. And but look, this isn't going to last forever. Humans endure. It's what we do. We survive, and we will get past this. We always do.
It's great, Michael. It's great information. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Yes, we'll put your information up so people know how to get a hold of you if they have any questions. Guys, thanks for watching. And Michael, thank you very much. Stay safe, my friend. It's been a pleasure.
Stay safe. Okay. God bless. Thank you, Ray.